For the second straight week in a row, we got Air Force in a conference matchup, this time hosting Boise State, who was in a bye last week. Boise State's looking for their first solid win against quality competition, and it could come this week against Air Force, but Air Force was competitive in defeat last week to Utah State. I think they come back now at home and give Boise State a run for their money. This is a 10.5 point spread favoring Boise State. The over-under on this game is 51.5. If it's a close matchup, I don't think it's really indicative on Boise State as much as it is on Air Force just being competitive in conference play as usual. Boise State's looking for a really good win. They want to prove that that week 1 loss against South Florida was a fluke, 31-7 fluke. They want to prove that they're still one of the best teams in the country, certainly Mountain West favorites. Maddox Madsen looked good in their win 2 weeks ago. Now he's going to take on a challenging Air Force defense that also will give him limited possessions since they run the ball, and they're going to run that clock down, and they're going to grind it out, getting into the end zone a couple times. This is a game where Madsen may try to show his athletic ability. I think I'd prefer him to stay in the pocket and really find his guys. Rely on Dylan Riley, rely on Sire Gaines to open up the passing game a little bit more with their running, and then find your guys. Find Chris Marshall, find Ben Ford. Get your guys the ball, and let them work and put up big numbers. I believe Boise State has it in them to have a Utah State type of day. They could separate early from Air Force, and I would still like to think that Boise State's defense is a little more stout than what we've seen from Utah State, so they could very well likely find a way to limit the Falcons' running game to the best of their ability, and from there it's just about putting points on the board. And I think Boise State will have an effective day throwing, running the ball. The last time these teams met up, it was a closer game. I think Air Force is just one of those teams, they're not going to let up. Even in that loss last week, they didn't go anywhere. They scored pretty much match for match against Utah State. They let the Aggies get away from them early, but when they came roaring back, they weren't going anywhere through the end. I would not be surprised if they could give the Broncos trouble. I certainly wouldn't suggest that Boise State lets them stick around too long, because if they do, things could get ugly in the final quarter. I'm hesitant to say this is a high-scoring game because the Falcons are going to take off a chunk of that clock every single possession they have. Boise State defense taking on that Falcons running game. See who wins out that. I have no doubt that Madsen and the offense is going to score pretty effectively, but it's just going to be how many touches do they get in the wake of the Falcons triple option. I like to think that they've tightened up some of their mistakes from the past couple of weeks and really look to make a statement, especially on the road. I like to think that the Broncos have took that bye week and refocused, got healthy, and are ready to put on a great performance as they start conference play and try to make this Falcons team look like they're not on their level. It's definitely an interesting game. It's a great matchup, prime time. It's a 5 p.m. Mountain Time game on the CBS Sports Net. Boise State going on the road to take on Air Force. Be sure to check it out.